be okay to weather the storm. Backups don't. 2 games, 3 games for backup, you're okay.
ESPN's Adam Schefter reports quarterback Blake Bortles expected to be signed to the Packers practice squad and be eligible for the 53-man roster on Sunday. The Browns are discussing Odell Beckham Jr.'s future with the receivers' representatives. He was told not to attend practice today, one day after his dad posted comments on social media trashing Browns QB Baker Mayfield. Former Raiders receiver Henry Ruggs III was driving 156 miles an hour seconds before yesterday's fatal crash in Las Vegas with a blood alcohol level twice Nevada's legal limit, according to prosecutors. Ruggs facing charges of DUI resulting in death and reckless driving.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword dollar to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's dollar to 200-200.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is alongside. The Democratic Republic of Sports is live in the Ingles studio. First hour of the program, as always, brought to you by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. We got a lot going on in the NFL today, man. We thought maybe there'd be fireworks for the trade deadline yesterday. No, the day after the trade deadline apparently is the day when all of the drama happens.
Yeah. Odell Beckham.
Yep.
If you've been supporting that, got news for you. We've been right the whole time.
Uh-huh.
It's not worth it. Your dad comes out on Twitter yesterday, and first of all, there are very few times that somebody tweets something, and I feel the urge to say, explain to me that you don't know anything about football without telling me you don't know anything about football.
Right.
That video accomplished that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not worth a headache. Do you realize he hadn't had a 100-yard game in over 2 years?
Yeah. That's what
I don't get it.
That's what I kept trying to say when everyone was talking about, Odell Beckham Jr., he should be a target at the trade deadline. No, he should not.
Well, he was a target for nothing. We will give you absolutely nothing.
Right. If you want to give him to us, then fine. And then today the news comes out that Kevin Stefanski and the GM are having a meeting with Odell Beckham Jr., and he's been excused from practice. And the words that were used were, we're exploring the next steps.
Well, Kevin Stefanski told the team today he's no longer a part of this team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not surprising in the least. You couldn't do this before the trade deadline because your hope was that you could get anything for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you couldn't. So now he will be released outright. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't want him on my team.
You wouldn't go after him?
I have no interest. None. I don't care how killed I am at receiver. The New Orleans Saints will.
Right.
They will pursue him for nothing. That was what they kept telling Cleveland, is that we'll make a deal, but it's going to be a conditional 7.
And to me, I think that's even too much.
And I would agree.
That's even too much for me. He will go on waivers if he gets cut, or when he gets cut. And for somebody to claim him on waivers, they'd have to come up with $8 million to pay him.
And they're not going to do that.
There's only like 2 teams that could be able to do that, and I think they both are horrible. One of them was the Jaguars.
Well, there are multiple teams that could do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets, the Broncos, there are a few. I haven't looked at the salary cap ledger in a while.
Yeah.
But nobody will. Because at the end of the day, he's just not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had some great catches. He has some of the most electric catches you've ever seen. At the end of the day, he's just not that good of a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And injuries have made it markedly more apparent.
Yep.
And he's a headache, and he's a diva. Why?
Yeah, why would you go out? Why would you do that? So he's been building a relationship, or supposed to be building a relationship with Baker Mayfield for the last 3 years. And when his dad goes on social media and says the reason his son's not performing is because of the quarterback, you had to know. You had to know that this was not going to end well. There were going to be words of some kind. And it just so happens that the words uttered today by Kevin Stefanski and the GM at the Cleveland Browns,
bye.
You fired.
Yep, bye.
Mm-hmm. There's so many people that are shocked by this, and it shocks me that they're shocked.
Well, because he's a name.
Yeah, but where did you think this was going to go? I mean, this is the Cam Newton thing all over again. I know. You said yesterday we don't want to say that name anymore.
I am Cam Newton out.
But this is the thing. People think that as long as you're a name and as long as you're a character and as long as you were once good in this league, you should forever be considered that. And it's just not reality. Hate to mess that up for you.
Well, I mean, I hate to break anybody's heart, but this is the living embodiment of what we've been trying to say for an extended period of time. You can be talented. Mm-hmm. Nobody here is saying that Odell Beckham's not talented. Mm-hmm. The talent doesn't outweigh the headache. And there have been a slew of other players in the NFL that exact same thing applies to. You make it whatever you want to. That's totally up to you. Mm-hmm. You call it whatever you want to. If Odell Beckham was the player he was with the New York Giants, this would not be happening. He's not. But he's still an equivalent level headache to what he was when he was that player.
Yeah.
And you know what that makes you? Annoying. That makes you an annoyance. Mm-hmm. You are not worth the headache. We're good. And there have been countless players like this. And I got news for you. There's another one coming.
Another what?
There's another one of these players that's coming. Mm-hmm. They're going to be much harder to get rid of. Michael Thomas is the exact same player. At this point, Michael Thomas and Odell Beckham Jr. are the exact same player.
Yeah.
You're living off one season. I haven't seen you do anything productive in 2 years. And you're still really loud. Mm-hmm. And you still do things that don't make a whole lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Michael Thomas today, hey, guess what? Done for the year.
Yep.
Setback with the ankle. Has a surgical procedure in the offseason, doesn't even feel the urge to tell the team. Mm-hmm. And now, I just re-injured it. And you know what? I will tell you this is coming before anybody ever says it.
Okay.
The Saints are going to use that as an excuse to chase money on him. And I'm going to level. They should. I said earlier this year that's the most unmovable deal in the NFL. That's Jared Goff level impossible to move.
Yeah.
And now you will have missed almost 2 full years.
Mm-hmm. But does he not get a break because he's been injured?
No.
Why?
No. Because you chose to have the surgery 15 minutes before the season. You didn't tell anybody.
Right.
No, you did this to yourself. Sorry about your luck. That's going to be a big narrative of today's show. There's a word in the English language that really gets on my nerves, and it's fair. It's not fair.
Right.
Life's not fair. I always use the example of the two of us. I was born 6'6", Tank was born 5'4". Mm-hmm. That's not fair.
Yeah. Stop that.
He's like 5'7".
Oh, my gosh.
If he was standing on a phone book.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, if the New Orleans Saints had the ability to reclaim money from Michael Thomas, would they not have already started that? Would they not have already gone down that path?
Well, because this builds the case. Because I guarantee you, and I mentioned this morning, this same story is happening in the NHL right now. It's just much louder. Because the player is really upset that the team will not allow him to chase the medical treatment that he wants. Mm-hmm. I don't know why this has all of a sudden become a thing. Your employer has a lot of leeway in what they can tell you to do. Mm-hmm. You know, because they pay you. Mm-hmm. And they can choose at any time to stop paying you. Mm-hmm. Is it fair? Not necessarily. A lot of things aren't fair. It's not fair to me that there's a gas station right below my house that doesn't have Twix bars. That's not fair.
I feel like that needs to be eradicated quickly.
I can only say it so many times. Bring a man of Twix. I'll eat 100 of them.
Right. No,
You're going to hear a lot of food today. I'm trying to go, healthy eating. Went a little Caesar salad for lunch. And
had a little apple for a snack.
Yeah. And you know what that means I am? Hungry. And angry.
And angry. So he's got a lot to say, I guess. I've always had a hard time walking this line between the rights of the organization and the rights of the player. Now, should the player be allowed to go get whatever treatment they want?
No.
I disagree on a certain level.
And that's
however,
fine. You know what that leads to?
What?
Aaron Rodgers. That's what that leads to. He took his own holistic approach to coronavirus. You know what the NFL said? Okay, it's fine. We do not recognize that. And now he's going to miss at least one game.
Mm-hmm.
Will likely be two.
I mean,
he can't come back for 10 days.
He can clear the protocol next Saturday.
You'd have to clear it Saturday, and everything would have to go exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your right. You can do whatever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the part where when people get locked in on, well, that's not fair. Okay. You can do what you want. It's just like saying obscenities on live radio. You can do anything you want. Once. You're not free from repercussion.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Thomas is living proof of repercussion because it's going to cost him a boatload of money.
I don't know. Like I said, I've always been about, personal freedom, being allowed to get whatever treatment you feel is necessary, on and on and on. Now, on the other hand, the teams have a whole lot of money wrapped up in you.
Mm-hmm.
The teams have $30, $40, $50 million in some cases wrapped up in these players. Multiple, more than that over multiple years. They need a say as well. And
Absolutely.
I know that's gonna rankle a lot of people of saying, "Oh no, it's personal freedoms. My employer can't tell me what to do."
No, they can.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
Or they can choose to not pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how this works.
Right.
And we're not telling you that they're going to tell you, no, you can absolutely not do that. They're going to lock you in a coat closet. You can do whatever you want to.
Right.
Repercussion.
Yeah. When you go out on your own and you get your own treatment, you need to be held accountable if the treatment is not up to the standard of the team.
And it's real easy to prove that.
Mm-hmm. Which New Orleans now finds themselves in the situation in with Michael Thomas. I mean, if any way they can tie this back to you didn't get the right surgery or this is what we wanted you to do, you did this instead, and oh, look, lo and behold, you had a setback and now you missed an entire season. I can fully see where they would come back and get that money. But I think this also translates over to the Ben Simmons situation. Oh, the Ben Simmons situation just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Because he's claiming mental health issues, yet he won't meet with the doctors that the Sixers have on staff or that they have on retainer or whatever. Okay, I'm not paying you anymore.
And they don't have to.
If you're not going to seek the treatment and you're not going to give us any proof that you're getting treatment outside, he keeps saying, oh, yeah, I'm seeing doctors, but we're not ready to tell you who we're seeing or when I'm seeing them or how often or what we're talking about or what. I'm all about personal freedoms up until a point. You do have to take that into account, that the team should have some say in that. They are the ones making you the multimillionaire.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. All the Saints have to prove with Mike Thomas is that something happened in the rehab that's not what they would have done. Invalidates it. Bye. I had somebody tell me in the offseason, if New Orleans could get rid of Michael Thomas, they'd do it right now for a bag of footballs. Do you think that's gotten worse?
Of course it has.
Absolutely it has.
Yeah.
And
of course it has.
Is it necessarily even his fault? No. But you did something that the team didn't like. And and it has done nothing but cause problems ever since. Does that sound familiar? Because that literally ties into Ben Simmons, Odell Beckham Jr., and Aaron Rodgers. All of them. Every one of these have the exact same root problem. You did something that the team didn't like, and now they're going to react accordingly. And that's just the way it goes. But you know what the big difference between all these players is?
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers is an MVP. The other three are not. Michael Thomas has caught 40 passes in 2 years. Oh, but when he came in the league, he had 4 straight years, 1,000 yards. Yep. And we haven't seen him so much as run a pass route in a year. You don't have any idea what he is. You know what he could be? Odell Beckham Jr. It's weird how leg injuries affect wide receivers. And I'm literally watching this story going, man, I feel like I'm reading the same book with different names of the characters. That is it.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, it does all come – it's interesting how many similarities there are between all of these cases. And, you know, in these situations, it's a business. And you have to do what's best for you. You know, people may say, well, it's not fair for Michael Thomas.
Fair.
Right.
Oh, it's not fair.
It's not fair for Michael Thomas to have gotten injured last year and then have, off-season surgery and he has a setback and now the New Orleans Saints are going to come chasing money from him. Well, it's all in how you handle it. It's not fair that Ben Simmons is having some mental breakdown and they're, they've been fining him and withholding his paychecks and put him in an escrow account and all of that. Well, it's also kind of how you handle that situation.
Yeah, it's also
having screaming matches with your coaches and, showing up and being lethargic at practice and not wanting to participate and, and then when all of it comes to a head, then you say, oh, well, mental health. No, you don't think he knows the Players Association rules? You don't think that he knows that?
And they knew it the minute he did it.
Of course they did.
See, the bad thing is that puts that seed of doubt when people actually have issues. I don't know Ben Simmons at all. He could be struggling with all kinds of things. I have no idea. But things aren't fair.
Right.
When you don't do things that make sense and you don't follow the process the way you're supposed to, it leads to people going, that's awful convenient that you have a mental health issue that you will not take team treatment for. And it's the one thing you could say that would continue getting you paid after you had demanded a trade. I'm not insinuating anything. All I'm doing is going, when you put all those pieces together, there is a picture that puzzle paints, and you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah. It's like I have told you for a long time. Perception, in some cases, is reality.
Perception in every case is reality. To the outside. It doesn't matter what's really happening.
Right.
That's one of the things that people seem to really struggle to grasp. What's actually happening does not, in large part, matter much of the time. It's how it looks.
Exactly.
The Michael Thomas thing. Did he do anything that actually re-aggravated the injury? Who knows? But you know what? The first thought my and many other beat writers in this country, because we've been texting back and forth about it all day, you know what our first thought was? Man, it's weird you had an ankle injury when you wouldn't rehab with the team and you wouldn't let their surgeons perform it. It's the first thing we all thought. Is that reality? Who knows? But the perception becomes reality.
Right. And guess what? You've been discontent with this franchise anyway. You've been having these, all the stories leaking out about how you don't want to be in town anymore and blah, 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 blah. Drew Brees leaves town. Now you have no quarterback. Jameis Winston he may have come back for Jameis Winston.
Stephen A. Smith basically just came out and said, man, it's awful weird that Jameis Winston got hurt and immediately Michael Thomas went, nope.
Exactly.
Again, is that what really happened?
Don't know.
I have no idea. But is it what it looks like? Very much so.
You bet your bottom dollar that's what it looks like. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers on their way in from the west tonight. Widespread freeze warnings up for our neighbors over in Tennessee for tonight, and we're in the upper 30s here. Some of the higher elevations could see some light snows here tonight and early Thursday morning. Morning rain showers in the valley Thursday, high 45, low 31, and then highs only in the 50s Friday with some lows Friday night in the 20s in the valley. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Cantina Crispy Melt Taco from Taco Bell has a premium shell made from white corn and a hidden layer of real mozzarella, pepper jack, and cheddar cheeses. And now you're craving one, because when you need a taco, you need a taco. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Be the one.
Howell, first down and more. Goodbye. Magical play by Sam Howell. And it's intercepted. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win. Light that bell tower blue.
The Heels return for homecoming against Wake Forest on Saturday. Pre-game coverage starts at 11 a.m. Kickoff at noon. Right here on your home for Carolina football.
The Tar Heels play here. And this is ESPN Asheville.
I'm Colleen Wolfe from Thursday Night Football and Good Morning Football Weekend.
And I'm Ricky Hollywood from Around the NFL and the broadcast.
On our new podcast, Split Ends, Ricky and I will be coming to you every week to talk about all the important and unimportant storylines in the football world.
Join us for the stories on and off the field that matter. We'll break down games, news stories, tweets, interviews, whatever it takes to cover the ins and outs of the NFL world.
Listen to Split Ends on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th. At Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
Introducing the world's first spam call-free second phone number app, Switch Up. Switch Up can revolutionize your small business. Features include unlimited calling and texting, do not disturb mode, auto replies, and more. With options for multiple lines and the ability to set business hours, Switch Up is spam call-free. Switch Up. Get your phone number in less than 3 minutes with Switch Up. Download today and get 40% off your first year of Switch Up. Learn more at GetSwitchUp.com.
It's the 2021 Pro Football Challenge. Make your picks now for this week's games. Weekly winners get a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. All weekly winners go into a drawing for a getaway trip to Kiowa Island Golf Resort. Make your picks now at ESPNAVL.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
It really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Life ain't fair. That's the overall theme of today's show. Life ain't fair, children. I feel like we have been saying this, and we've been having to say this way too much lately. Not only in the sports world, but in our society as well. And, you know, Odell Beckham Jr., sorry, you ain't worth nothing, man.
Here's the thing. It's not fair that McRibs taste like happiness and apples taste like sadness.
Oh, they do not.
But they do.
They do not. Apples do not taste like sadness.
I just devoured an apple during the break.
Apples are so good. They're
Eventually,
so good
I'm just going to start leaving the camera on during the breaks on YouTube. You can find us now live on YouTube and Facebook.
Yep.
At the Sportsocracy. And had the cameras been on, you could have just watched me devour an apple in 4 minutes like a squirrel.
I had to ask him if he was going to eat the seeds as well.
I almost did.
It's gross.
Once you said it, I almost just threw the whole thing, like core and all. I don't care.
That's so gross. I had a buddy of mine that he used to eat all of the apple. And I was, why would you do that? You know, when you're hungry. Like, he was a Marine. He was in the Marine Corps. He was like, you were looking for vitamins however you could get them, so we ate everything.
Yeah, when you ate a salad for lunch, you know, and you're my size, you'll take a couple calories there where you can get them.
We'll take them where you can get them. Anyway, yeah, Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Thomas, Ben Simmons. Life ain't fair, guys, and I don't know why you think. I don't know. I guess it's just the mindset of superstar athletes.
Well, and now we have to get into what I would say is probably the story of the day. Aaron Rodgers,
yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers has coronavirus. So he's unvaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he took his own homeopathic. First of all, if you had told me a week ago, there's a player in the NFL that took their own homeopathic route to coronavirus vaccination, and they tried to convince the NFL of that, I would have said Aaron Rodgers' name before you got it out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers. Am I right?
Right.
I'm right.
And so, of course, social media goes crazy. You remember when he was asked if he was vaccinated, and he said, yeah, I'm immunized. That's apparently what he was talking about.
Yeah.
It was his little home remedy or whatever. Like, he has been being treated by the league as an unvaccinated player all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't follow the protocol. The protocol is if you want to be considered a vaccinated player or a immunized player, you got to take the vaccine.
And guess
That's
what?
how that works.
That's his call.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter really loves to go, oh, it's so irresponsible. Why would you possibly ever blah, blah, blah? None of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Facts don't care about your feelings. It's my favorite Ben Shapiro line ever.
Right. And
it's none of your business.
Yeah, and I've seen so many people, well, doesn't he owe it to his teammates? No, he doesn't owe it to his teammates. Nope. Look, you cannot, I've always said this, we cannot keep people from being jerks. You cannot legislate out dumbassery. You just can't do it.
That's a rare word that you don't hear very often.
Right. You just can't do it. I mean, if he doesn't want to follow the protocols and he doesn't want to get the vaccine, then fine. But you're going to be treated accordingly. Mm-hmm. And now, because he's an unvaccinated player, he's gone for 10 days at least, which means he cannot rejoin the team until Saturday, which obviously will be the day before their next game. Jordan Love's now going to have to suit up for this week's game.
Backed up by Blake Bortles.
Against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, at least there's that. Jordan Love comes in and carves up the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. It's going to get real interesting.
If you're, I don't know how many people that listen to this are single, but if you're single, find you someone that loves you as much as quarterbacks that don't have any other option. Love Blake Bortles.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice he's always the call?
Yeah.
Oh, we have no quarterback. Blake Bortles. Where's he at? Get him on a plane.
Well, you know why that is.
Because he's a living, breathing quarterback that's actually started a game in the NFL.
It's because he's not that bad.
No, he's pretty bad.
You can bring him in for a game if you have to on an emergency. Not feel like you're just completely punting the quarterback situation like Denver did last year when they had to go with
Kendall Minton.
Kendall Hinton from Wake Forest. Yeah, that was fun.
You know who they can't have? Tom Brady 2.0.
Mike White.
You're not going to get the NFL Offensive Player of the Week. Mike White.
Oh gosh, he's not going to give up Mike White.
No.
But here's the thing: is also no one is going to be threatened by Blake Bortles. I mean, this is the other thing. Like again, he who should not be named. Everybody says, why don't they call him? He was so good with the Carolina Panthers that he was an MVP in this league. Yeah, but
Remember
if they also bring
but
if they also bring him in, one, he's a headache. He's, a diva, and guess what? Now you got a quarterback controversy on your hands because you're going to have the fan base, that Tim Tebow section of the fan base is going to be like, "Oh, he's the greatest thing ever." You know what you don't get with Blake Bortles? Anyone who says that.
No.
Ever.
And, it sounds insane that anybody would go, oh, what did Cam Newton against Aaron Rodgers? There are people.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. I see them on Twitter every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that think the Buffalo Bills should bring in Cam Newton to challenge Josh Allen.
Also, in this league, what is your greatest ability?
Your availability.
Your availability. That's right. And when somebody calls and says, oh, you know what? We got 2 quarterbacks that have coronavirus, and we've got Jordan Love, who we don't really trust. Blake, would you like to come in and spot us for a week? Yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything else. Cam, would you like to come and spot us for a week? I don't know. I think I'm going to need a multi-year deal, and you got, okay, out. Click.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have to make room for my podcast equipment. No, I'm done.
I'm good. I'm out. I'm
not
out.
Dealing with it. Blake Bortles is easy. Plus, he was with the team in the offseason, so he knows the playbook. So that's why that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't really care. I really don't care. I mean, everybody gets to make their own decisions, and you have to face the consequences of those decisions. So now if Aaron Rodgers is going to face all this backlash from Packers Nation because he didn't get vaccinated and, he put us in a tough spot, okay, we'll go out this week and beat the Kansas City Chiefs with Jordan Love.
And they very well might.
They very well might. And what's the problem? Then Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next Saturday, and he's going to start on Sunday.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be fine.
And then the story will be in the rearview mirror.
Exactly. Oh, he's the biggest liar in Wisconsin since Ryan Braun. Okay. Why do you feel – that's the thing I'm trying to wrap my head around. Why do you feel slighted because he, quote-unquote, lied to the media about being vaccinated? It's none of your business.
I got news for you. People lie to us every day.
Very true.
I usually can call it out and go, well, that's what a lie sounds like.
Everybody just all up in their feelings, acting like, everybody in the world acts like they're owed something. And I get really, really sick and tired of it.
The Sports Tag.
Just a bit outside.
All right, here's the 411, folks.
Yes, we are making some preparations here, trying to wrangle in one World Series champion winning Mark Lemke to join us on the program coming up later on to talk about the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series last night. We haven't said it yet, so congratulations, all you Braves fans, for being able to celebrate after 26 years of futility.
That was actually enough to make me care about baseball.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. There was a great story today about the home run ball that Jorge Soler hit out of the stadium. So this guy's brother lives right across the street in an apartment building from the park. Is it Minute Maid Park? Do they still call it that?
It's what it was.
It was at one point. Anyway, he lives right across the street. Right across the street from where the ball went out of the park. It goes, they had the roof open, so it goes over the outfield wall, hits on the big green awning out onto the street where everybody comes in, and they're watching the game from their 5th floor apartment. Well, they see the ball bounce off of the awning. It goes behind some little gated area, and they're thinking, how can we get this ball? The ball actually laid there in the street for 8.5 minutes until these guys could get down from their 5th floor apartment to get the ball. Now they're talking about selling it, and the guy says the bidding starts at $1 million.
That's an aggressive strategy.
$1 million. I guarantee you there's a Braves fan out there somewhere that will pay $1 million to have the Jorge Soler home run ball from the World Series.
I mean, people are paying $5 million for non-fungible tokens, so you're probably right.
This is very true. But at least that'd be a fungible thing that you could have, a tangible piece of memorabilia to have. Also, like the money that Pete Rose got this past weekend.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So there was a big rebranding up in Cincinnati. The new Hard Rock Casino opened up. And, of course, when you have the celebrity guest list for who's going to be there, Cincinnati, gambling, it only makes sense. Pete Rose has got to be there. They actually let Pete Rose put down the first bet at the new Hard Rock Casino this weekend. And, you know what happened? Immediate blackjack. Immediate blackjack for the first hand ever dealt at the new Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati. obviously, Pete Rose, he's got the new gambling podcast that we told you about a couple of weeks ago. He's the guy. He's the guy, finally embracing his gambling past. If baseball is never going to let me in, then you know what? I'm going full gambler.
As well you should. And they're never letting me in either. I didn't do anything to deserve it, and I went full gambler. Speaking of a gamble, Fox Sports took a gamble in 2019 when they moved their best Big Ten game into the noon window.
Yeah.
They call it the Big Noon Saturday.
Yep.
They also have a pregame show called the Big Noon Kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they did this, there were a lot of people that went, well, that's not going to work. I was not one of those. And here's why. Because I am a stereotypical college football fan. They got really tired of the 3:30 window and the 7 o'clock window being where all the good games were.
Mm-hmm.
So Fox went, well, the Big Ten's ratings, they're good if you've got Ohio State or Michigan or one of these high-end teams involved. Well, we officially have confirmation that this idea worked. How many people do you think watched Michigan State on Saturday? A good college football number is like 5.5 million.
I'm going to say it was closer to 10.
It was almost 10 on the nose.
Yeah.
That is it was 9.3 million.
I mean, you got two undefeated.
That is an insane college football number.
You got two undefeated teams. You got Big Ten notoriety on the line. You've got a historic rivalry between interstate teams. That makes perfect sense to me. And I'm glad it got that number. I'm glad there were 10 million Americans that could see Kenneth Walker III put his flag on the Heisman Trophy race.
Ugh. And the bad thing is I have to admit you're right.
Yes.
And it really irritates me.
Uh-huh.
Here are just some facts about this game. It was the most watched regular season college football game on any network that was not a bowl since Clemson Notre Dame in November of last year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sixth most watched regular season game ever on Fox, and more than doubled 2019 Saturday Big Ten average.
Actually, that's now that I think of it, that's not that shocking because that is the game that has probably had the most playoff implications since that Clemson Notre Dame game. So yeah,
it was a huge game.
Although,
but it was at
it
noon.
is kind of surprising that it is at noon.
At noon,
right?
Because here's what you got. A lot of people don't think about this when they think about ratings, because it works in reverse. We have World Series games that start at 8 or NBA Finals games that start at 9. The reason for that is because the West Coast is 3 hours behind. So this game kicked off at 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. Still did that level of number. That is insane.
I would love to know the geographic breakdown.
Oh, the whole state of Michigan watched it.
No doubt.
I don't know how many people are in that state, but it's a good number.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was a brilliant idea. I do not know why more networks don't do this.
Put great games on at noon?
Just put good games on in windows that make sense. The noon window on Saturday, people have always avoided that because, the West Coast. The West Coast doesn't watch college football in large part anyway.
Exactly.
So what does it matter? And now you see things like this, and my hope is that over time, this will lead to us having a full day slate of college football as opposed to me having to bounce back and forth at 7 o'clock between 9 games. Is it self-serving? Yes.
Yes.
Do I care? No.
No, you don't care at all. Well, we got a big noon Saturday this weekend. Right here on ESPN Asheville, you're going to hear the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Yeah, Jeremy's already made his pick on that game. And the Tar Heels are a 2.5-point favorite, which is strange to me.
I'm not at liberty to discuss.
I know. I'm laying the stage. I'm laying the stage for it. It seems very odd to me that North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite against an undefeated Wake Forest team that everybody got all up in arms about when they saw the college football playoff ranking.
Oh, we'll be opening the 4 o'clock hour with that.
If we don't get Limmer.
Yeah, or we'll do it in the second segment.
Yeah.
We will be doing that in the second hour.
Yeah.
And it all ties back to that word, fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair.
Not fair.
It's not fair that they don't put double X talls on racks. That's not fair. That's why I have to order all my clothes from Amazon.
Here's an interesting thing, though. Wake Forest has 3 games coming up. They have North Carolina. Mm-hmm. The week after, they play NC State. And then they have Clemson. And do you realize that, at least according to the FPI, the metric that ESPN chooses to say who's going to win and who's not, they're an underdog in all 3 of those games.
The FPI.
Yeah, they have a less than 50% chance to win all 3 of those games. And yet people still baffled. Still baffled. They're undefeated in the ACC. Yeah. Well, Cincinnati's undefeated in the AAC, so what's your point? Anyway, more on that to come.
In the next hour.
Yeah, to come in the next hour. The Giants also dealing with a coronavirus issue.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley has...
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming for them, right? They get on the field this past week, and half their receivers had to leave the game at some point. They just can't stay healthy. Saquon Barkley's finally ready to come back from his injury, and guess what? Test positive for the coronavirus. Life ain't fair, folks.
Yeah. The Giants probably say that on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you listened to my betting picks last night, you're welcome.
Did you go undefeated?
There were 2 lines last night that just made absolutely no sense.
I
missed one, and of course it was the one that I said I had to pick 3, and
right.
That's what I got.
Oh, it was the Sacramento game you lost?
Utah won by 8. They were a 9-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not still bitter. But Milwaukee
I saw you killed those other ones.
Let's see. Milwaukee, I think they won by 706.
Mm-hmm.
I still need that line explained to me.
What?
How in the world were they only a 4-point favorite against Detroit? Oh, Chris Middleton's not playing. I don't care if their coach doesn't show up and there's no one to call timeout. I'll still take them.
Vegas just searching for some action on a Tuesday night?
No. You get the narrative, and Giannis was questionable to play. You just got to get good intel.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it wouldn't have mattered because Detroit is bad.
Love using that line, don't you?
I do. There's a lot of teams that are bad.
Mm-hmm. With football season in full swing, it's really hard for me to get excited about the NBA. But I will say this. When Jeremy gives his picks every day, that's my primer. That's my primer to at least watch a little basketball to see what's going on and try to keep track.
And I can't enforce this enough. And I'm not saying this because we are sponsored by a sports book.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA lines in this period, I've never perfectly had this explained to me. NBA lines during the football season are notoriously bad. Notoriously bad. And I have no clue why. There's 2 tonight that just don't make a lick of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they don't watch. They just look at, well, they're 6-1, they're 5-2, so minus 2.5.
Maybe they know people. They can sucker people in. I don't know.
But if you're going to do that, why would you want to sucker them into the winning side? That doesn't make any sense. It'd be one thing if you went really stupid on the backside. Oh, it's Milwaukee, Detroit. Milwaukee by 30. You actually have a shot at covering that.
Right.
That's stupid, but Milwaukee -4 against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to play with a deflated basketball? Because unless that's the case, I'm all over that.
They have changed the rules in the NBA, though, this year.
They have, and it makes the sport so much more watchable.
That was going to be my question, was have you noticed all of the, the offense-initiated contact, that they've taken that away? Hasn't made that much of a difference.
Not only have I noticed it, I have loved every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
And James Harden has hated every second of it, which has only made me love it more.
Because you hated James Harden.
Yes, I do.
Oh, of course, he is being he's being targeted with this because that's how he was able to average 38 a night or whatever it was he was averaging when he was in Houston.
Oh yeah, what team does James Harden play for?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Who do they play tonight?
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Atlanta Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks. Okay.
That's one of them.
That's one of them
That's
coming
one
up.
of them that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah, coming up in Greene on Greene here in the next segment. But have you seen this? They're also talking about changing another rule. And this is those intentional fouls to stop the fast breaks. Like one team gets out on fast break and you just hold the guy to foul him just to stop the fast break from happening. The NBA now, the competition committee is going to start looking at that. And now they're thinking about changing that into an intentional foul that not only gets you 2 foul shots, but also gives you the ball back.
Which I've always said that's the way that should go.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the definition of an intentional foul. You just hug the guy and go, nope, come here. The only way it would be more intentional is if you went to him like at you and just tried to tickle him like as he was trying to run away from him.
Right.
That is the definition of an intentional foul, and it's never called that way, and I've never understood that.
No. And it's to keep the players from doing it so that we can have more of these highlight-worthy plays. That's what you want to see.
Absolutely it is.
I mean, people talk about the evolution of sports. I can't watch basketball anymore because the games are like 140 to 150. Okay. I mean, the older generation really loved it when it was 88 to 76. Newer generations don't get down like that.
Yeah, this is a nice balance that I'm perfectly okay with.
Yeah. And now we want to see the highlight plays. We want to see the big breakaways. And if you're going to intentionally foul someone, guess what? In the record book or in the rule book, we're going to punish that like an intentional foul. So maybe you'll stop seeing that as much. I think these are 2 great
rule changes.
Yeah, that wasn't the word I was looking for, but I was, but yeah, they're great advancements for the game. Much more so than all that stuff that they were talking about in baseball. Like the pitch clock, I can get that. Moving the mound back and all that. Stop that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, play with a bouncy ball.
That's
an advancement in baseball. Yeah. Take that little squishy rubber ball that you throw to your dog and your dog brings it back? Play with that. That I will watch. I want to see somebody hit a home run that goes 900 feet.
No, that would be gross.
All the way in. I am totally in for that. You want me to watch? That's how you get me to watch.
That's how you watch. That's how you get you to watch, as long as there are always base runners and always guys scoring.
Charlie Sheen once said, I would watch a meat-covered robot hit a ball, hit home runs if they were hitting them 900 feet. And as soon as he said that, I went, agreed.
ABS. That's how you keep his attention. Always be scoring. It's the one thing soccer, baseball, and hockey they have all needed: more scoring. It's what the new generation wants. Let's give them what they want.
Pernicious, adjective, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Now, Wicked Weed's flagship IPA, winner of a silver medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, isn't harmful unless you're a competing IPA. Brewed in the mountains of western North Carolina, Pernicious IPA will destroy your expectations for all others in its class. Pernicious IPA inspires you to enjoy fresh and often. Order up at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed, the official craft beer of the Asheville Championship. Drink different, drink responsibly.
Extreme mood swings, substance abuse, change in sleeping habits, avoiding friends, family, and the things you used to love, suicidal thoughts. These are just a few of the signs of mental illness, and if you or someone you know is experiencing them, research says that talking about mental health has the power to make a person suffering feel less isolated, and we all deserve that. Go to iHeartRadio.com/talk for tips on how to start the conversation. This has been brought to you by NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and iHeartMedia.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage, and should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your baby monitor research, if you're using too much diaper cream, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., that's really none of our business. Because your life is private. And unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Aw, how old are they? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
When others treat your fries as an afterthought, all you're left with are cold, soggy fries. That's why Wendy's new fries are ones you won't forget, guaranteed to be hot and crispy, or we'll replace them. We're talking natural cut, skin-on fries, perfectly seasoned with a hint of sea salt. In fact, they're even preferred almost 2-to-1 over McDonald's. These are fries so hot and crispy, they beg a new question.
What would you like with your fries?
Try them today, only at Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, taste preference based on a national taste test by an independent research company.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg and cheese, or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get him the money!
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
You know what I love more than a night where I have 3 NBA picks that I feel really good about? A night where I have 3 NBA picks and they're all underdogs.
Yeah.
I love an underdog. First one, the Chicago Bulls are a 2.5-point dog at Philadelphia. I cannot for the life of me figure out why Chicago is constantly a dog. I don't know if people just haven't caught up to it yet. I don't know. But every day they start as a very small dog, and then it gets bet up, and Vegas makes a ton of money. And on the backside, I go get it, bet the Bulls, and win seemingly every night. I'm taking the Bulls tonight. I'll take them in the money line. They win this game outright. The New York Knicks are a 1-point dog at the Indiana Pacers. Unless there is a new NBA rule that will allow the Pacers to play with 7 players at a time. They should in no circumstances be a favorite in this game. I don't care who plays. I don't care who doesn't play. The Knicks are the markedly better team, and they are going to blow out the Pacers. Give me the Knicks plus the 1. Finally, the Atlanta Hawks are a 5-point dog tonight at the Brooklyn Nets. This team still looks really clunky, and when they play teams that can score, it's not tending to go very well. I thought that Brooklyn would be like a point favorite. This is ballooned up to 5, which is insane to me. Love the Hawks. I'll take them to the money line. Give me the Hawks plus 5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And don't forget to lock in your wagers at betus.com. Betus.com. The promo code Sportsocracy, and they will give you a deposit bonus of 125%, up to $2,500. Promo code Sportsocracy at betus.com. And there's a whole lot of money to be made as well over at monkeyknifefight.com. monkeyknifefight.com. Use the promo code TANK, T-A-N-K, and when you make your initial deposit, they will match it up to $50 and give you a $5 free play. And you could use that free play on tonight's prop game, Jeremy.
This is the second time this week I have said my play was stupid because the numbers are dumb. I hit the first one, and I like my chances of hitting this one. I'm playing the more or less 3.6x multiplier between the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks. I will take more than 27.5 points for Kevin Durant because he's the only player I really like in this game for the Nets. I will take more than 25.5 for Trae Young because I don't know who's going to stop him. That will turn your $10 buy-in into a $36 prize.
Now, last night, the Atlanta Braves did something that Braves fans have not seen in 26 years. They won the World Series. 4-2 over the Houston Astros. No one wanted to see the Astros win this thing.
I didn't want to see the Astros win this
thing.
And
he hates baseball. But you know, when you're going up against the cheaters, everybody's going to be pulling for the Atlanta Braves, and they got it done last night. The only thing that I can say about it is I feel like y'all need to pay Freddie Freeman. He's going to.
You should pay him lots of U.S. dollars.
Freddie Freeman's going to be they were talking, is this going to be the last night? No. I feel like the Atlanta Braves are going to back that Brinks truck up for him and let him finish his career with the Braves. 7-0 was the score last night. Yes, Jorge Soler hit the big home run. Max Fried won the game for the Atlanta Braves, pitched 6+ shutout innings. Very few players have done that before in franchise history. And the Braves cap it off, and guess what? 1995 World Series champion Mark Lemke will be joining us after the Sports Center update here at the top of the hour. We'll ask him how he feels about his Atlanta Braves winning the World Series. Just what it's like as well for a player. Like how your life changes after you win the series. Obviously, you want to come back and do it again. The Braves tried. They went back to the World Series in 1996 and, of course, lost to the New York Yankees, which nobody wants to see happen. I think that's, I think I would have celebrated a New York Yankees World Series more than I could have celebrated another Houston Astros World Series after that. That's how much that meant to everyone who's in the baseball world, that the Braves won last night. But congratulations to the Atlanta Braves, and we are proud to be your home for the Atlanta Braves here in the Asheville area. ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers on their way in from the west tonight. Widespread freeze warnings up for our neighbors over in Tennessee for tonight, and we're in the upper 30s here. Some of the higher elevations could see some light snows here tonight and early Thursday morning. Morning rain showers in the valley Thursday, high 45, low 31. And then highs only in the 50s Friday with some lows Friday night in the 20s in the valley. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect helps your business grow. Now get 20% off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore more at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Offer ends 1/1/22. Visit staples.com/services/printing for details. Staples Connect.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your baby monitor research, if you're using too much diaper cream, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., that's really none of our business. Because your life is private, and unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Aw, how old are they? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Casper mattresses are now at Mattress Warehouse, including the new line with snow technology designed to keep you cooler while you sleep. Visit your local Mattress Warehouse to be able to try Casper mattresses and pillows before you buy them. Take them home today or receive free shipping. Visit sleephappens.com for a location near you.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville. WPEK, W225, CJ Fairview, WMXM, Waynesville.
The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Packers will not have Aaron Rodgers Sunday against the Chiefs. He's out after testing positive for COVID-19. Jordan Love expected to make his first NFL start in his place. The earliest Rodgers can return is November 13th. The NFL has considered him as unvaccinated since the start of the season. Sources say Rodgers followed masking protocols while interacting with players and coaches inside team headquarters. However, he doesn't wear a mask while in the media auditorium during his weekly and post-game press conferences. Our Chris Canty.
For Aaron Rodgers to knowingly fly in the face of all of those different protocols and kind of do what he wants to do when it comes to a virus that's claimed over 700,000 American lives, that part about it is unacceptable to me, and Roger Goodell and the Green Bay Packers organization have to step in and do something about it.
Chris Canty of Canty and Golick Jr. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray says he believes he should be ready to play Sunday against the 49ers despite dealing with an ankle issue. NHL Penguins captain Sidney Crosby tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword BANK to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's BANK to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Wicked Weed Brewing.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is alongside. Second hour of the program, always brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. The Atlanta Braves, they did it. Those sons of guns, they finally did it. 26 years finally pays off. Down in Houston as they get the win in Game 6 of the World Series over the Houston Astros. It was absolute pandalirium on the streets of Atlanta last night with all of the fans celebrating. I've had a lot of fun today going through social media and checking out all of the clips of everybody in their just sheer enjoyment, and I'm sure that it was a very happy moment for our next guest. Here he is, back by popular demand, 1995 World Series champion with the Atlanta Braves, Mark Lemke. Limmer, it's they did it. How do you?
They sure did, and kind of a relief. I mean, they had a nice 7-0 win. But you know how baseball works. Until that final out there, you really can't let your guard down and relax.
Right.
But boy, I wish in 1995 we could have won our Game 6 7-0. I really do.
Right. It makes it a little easier going down the stretch to think, well, you know, even if something horrible happens, there's no way we can give up 7 runs late in the ball game. I mean, of course, it is baseball, and people have erased bigger deficits than that. But you had to feel good last night watching it. I mean, when Jorge Soler hit that one out of the ballpark, part of me just went, "Yep, it's over. This is done."
Yeah, I mean, that was a statement in a couple of ways. Not only there was it a 3-run homer, and that was huge, but the sheer length of it, it was just an absolute bomb. Did it go out of the stadium or did it land on the ring?
So it went out of the stadium, and there were some dudes having a party across the street in the apartment building, and they watched it go out of the stadium, watched it roll onto the sidewalk, and they were thinking, we'll never get down there before somebody gets it. Apparently, it laid there for like 8.5 minutes, and nobody went and got it. Finally, the guy went and got it, and he has now come out and said that the bidding starts at $1 million for this ball.
Oh, my goodness.
But come on,
wow.
Don't you think there's somebody that would pay that?
Yeah, I do.
Jorge Soler might pay that.
That would be a heck of a deal right there if that guy can pull that off.
Right.
I guarantee he won't be living in those apartments outside the stadium.
Oh, no.
He might upgrade to somewhere in a fancy little neighborhood.
That's right.
But it's a nice neighborhood around the stadium in Houston. I've been there before. I like it, but I think he might buy a home.
Oh, yeah. No, the guy was talking about how, like, he and his wife had just had a baby, and they were a young family. It's like, oh, well, that's a ticket to the burbs right there.
It sure is.
So,
and a little cushion on top of it.
Right. So I wanted to ask you this. So now, you got Freddie Freeman and Jorge Soler and Jock Peterson. Now he's a back-to-back World Series champion, which is, a strange thing to do with two different teams in back-to-back years. But you got all these guys that are now World Series champions. You went through this in 1995. How does it change your view on the game, or does it?
No, it doesn't change your view, but it checks something off the list, and anybody that's played the game, you have certain little goals that are step by step. You obviously, as an amateur, you want to become a professional. As a professional, you want to be successful in the minor leagues and try to become a major leaguer. You get to the major leagues, you want to establish yourself and make sure you can hang around for a little while. And then your next goal is a world championship. That's the ultimate goal, really. Even if you weren't an everyday player and didn't have a long career, if you got up there for a little bit of time and you won a World Series, that would be the ultimate. So this is the ultimate crowning in Major League Baseball, no doubt about it. You can't do any better than this, and especially where the Braves came from this year. I bet this year would be better than most years if you were like a favorite and everybody, was just like, well, this team's loaded, they're going to win. But this team had so many injuries, had so much adversity, and, to me, the credit goes to Brian Snitker and how he kept this team together, kept them positive. They fought through it, battled. They made outstanding acquisitions at the trade deadline, and it all came together.
Now, did you play for Snit at Durham, or was that after you?
No, I played for him at Sumter and Durham, and played for. I signed in 1983, and he was the manager of our instructional league team in 1983. Then in '86, I played for him in Sumter, South Carolina. '87 in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
So back-to-back years.
Yeah, so you got to feel happy for a guy like that who has spent 20 years in the minor leagues, and he comes up to the majors, and a lot of people have had their thoughts on whether or not he should be the the long-term skipper going forward, and well, now there's no doubt.
I agree. There was no doubt from anybody that knew Snit, any of us guys. There was no doubt,
right?
Because he's very similar to Bobby Cox. And, sometimes when a manager is an organizational guy and didn't play in the major leagues, it's tough to earn that respect in the clubhouse. But I don't think Brian Snitker had any problem at all. I think he had a lot of those guys in the minor leagues that all knew his style and knew what he was about. So I think he had instant respect from the minute he took over, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that was in May of 2016.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had to battle that at all. I think the guys respected him, and I know as time went on, even from a guy like Nick Markakis playing there, who was a veteran guy, everybody to a man loved Brian Snitker as their manager.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves World Series champions. Once again, last question for you. A lot of people talking about Freddie Freeman and the fact that he's a free agent. This is not an organization that lets go their heroes. And I got a feeling, I want to know what you think. Are they going to back the Brinks truck up for him, whatever he wants, he gets?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's going to be – you're right about that. It's going to be a boatload, but I just can't see Freddie Freeman being anything other than an Atlanta Brave.
Right. I mean, there's guys that have been like that for forever. Like, could you imagine if they, if after you win a World Series and they just let Chipper Jones walk out the door? I mean, Freddie's in that company, is he not now?
He is the Chipper Jones of this team.
Mm-hmm.
But it happened early in my career where an icon in Atlanta, and that was because of different circumstances. Dale Murphy was let go.
Right.
And I never thought I'd see that. But I maybe they learned their lesson and said, I think we'll keep Chipper around for his whole career.
Right.
And then I think Freddie Freeman takes torch from Chipper, and I think he's the Chipper Jones of this team.
All right, Mark, it is great to catch up with you once again. Mark Lemke, 1995 World Series champion with the Atlanta Braves, now the 2021 World Series champions. We appreciate you taking out the time for us, brother. We'll catch up with you again soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Working for the Atlanta Braves radio network, even for the short period of time that I did work for them, obviously I met a lot of guys who were diehard Atlanta Braves fans. Living in this area, that's all there was around here was Braves fans. And so even though I'm not personally a Braves fan, they've always been like my second team. And I'll be honest with you, I shed a tear last night when I saw the final out happen. It was almost like 2004 all over again. Obviously not as much emotion because I wasn't as, invested in them as I was in the Red Sox, but great to see the Atlanta Braves back on top of the baseball world. And now you got to think about next year. They get Ronald Acuna back on this team. The expectations, if anything, are going to be World Series or bust. Who knows? They made a return trip in 1996 after they won it in 95. Maybe they can do it again next year. But enjoy it while you can, Braves fans. College football, the Atlanta area may be just hopping because guess what? You got the number one team in the nation right down the street in Athens, Georgia. So Georgia may have, I saw a lot of Matt Ryan obviously, living in the Atlanta area and being tied with the Braves. He's like, I hope we could take some inspiration from this. I do too, buddy, but I don't know how much that's going to do you on your team.
It won't do much for the Falcons.
Yeah. But for the Georgia Bulldogs.
But, the poll comes out last night, and it was incredibly predictable.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between the way we put it out and the way they put it out is we had Ohio State at 4 and Oregon at 5.
Mm-hmm.
They had Oregon 4, Ohio State 5. And that's the way it should be, in all honesty.
Yeah, because Oregon had to win.
Yeah, Oregon beat them.
Mm-hmm. Oregon's already beat them once. They've got the best non-conference win in all of college football. You cannot argue that. If Clemson had been a thing, then Georgia would have it. But Clemson's fallen off the map, and now they can barely beat Florida State.
What was your big takeaway looking at the top 10? Because I have to be honest with you, as soon as this came out, I laughed through the entire thing. Just going, well, you got that right.
Yeah.
Took us forever, but we finally figured out how to do this.
The biggest surprise for me with the college football playoff ranking was that Oklahoma was so low.
That's they should.
And I agree with you. They've beaten no one. They have struggled with teams that they should absolutely blow out. I just didn't know that the committee would have it in them to put them at 8. I thought for sure they'd have to be in the top 6. Undefeated, Power 5 conference. It's not the worst conference in college football like the ACC is. We'll get to that in a second.
I would argue the Big 12's. They're not worse, but I would say they're as bad.
Than the ACC?
Big 12 is dog water. I could argue the second best team in that conference is Texas, who has 4 losses. And their board of regents one of their board of regents just came out and said we wasted money hiring Steve Sarkisian, which made me also chuckle a lot.
You could make the argument, but I think you'd be wrong. Between Oklahoma State and Baylor, and those guys are better than Texas, aren't they?
Consistently, I'm going to say okay. To me, those 3 teams are very similar. Basically, every team in that conference I look at and go, good gracious, you're inconsistent. Oklahoma State, if you look, just look at Oklahoma State, who, by the way, Oklahoma has not played yet, and they still have to.
Right.
Their
Maybe
best
twice.
win is Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
2 is Texas or Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost to Iowa State, the only other decent team they played.
Yeah.
Oh, good, you beat Boise State by a point. Yeah, they're terrible. That conference is not good. And that's basically what the committee said, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And today, the big narrative has been, it's not fair that Cincinnati's undefeated and we're not even going to consider them.
No, we're not. We're not, and I've been trying to tell people this since Boise State. It doesn't matter if we have the BCS. It doesn't matter if we have the college football playoff. Group of 5 schools don't matter.
Because no one cares.
No.
But that's why. It's not that they don't matter. You have your place. You're going to get into a New Year's Six bowl, and you'll probably smoke somebody that doesn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, college football is a business. And you know who cares about watching Cincinnati trot in and get smoked by Georgia? No one.
No one.
The city of Cincinnati, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They care way more about the Bengals than they do about the Bearcats. I promise you.
Right.
Who cares? I mean, genuinely, what is the fairness? Oh, so you can just lather up any schedule and we're supposed to reward that? That's stupid.
No, these writers are trying to make this case. I saw Heather Dinich wrote a story about it today. Andrea Adelson wrote one. I heard RG3 was all up in arms on First Take or Mike and Mike, or I don't even know what TV show. Get Up.
So
and he was all up in arms about Cincinnati being 6 and being, so you're telling the group of 5 that there's nothing that they can do. Well, no. I mean, we told them, like, if you want to be involved, you have to have a better non-conference schedule. And their argument is, well, Cincinnati did that.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
they played Notre Dame. Other than that, they played Murray State and Miami of Ohio.
They got Notre Dame and Indiana.
Who's
now, the
bad?
Indiana win last year would have looked good. Not against this Indiana team.
That game was also scheduled about 6 years ago.
Right. But this is what I'm saying is, okay, they tried. It's not necessarily their fault that Notre Dame has taken a step back and hasn't looked good and hasn't looked dominant this year.
I got news for you. It wouldn't matter if they did. It wouldn't matter if they did. That's the only game you play all year. You don't play anybody else that's in the top 50 of the Vegas Bowl. Not one team do you play. You still have to play SMU, who I think is in the mid-40s.
Mm-hmm.
But you're telling me that's supposed to get you in. Here's the thing I don't understand, and it's so disingenuous, and it makes me so angry. All right, so you're up in arms. Oh, what about Cincinnati? That group of 5. Blah, 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 blah. You played nobody. So you're mad about that, but you're not mad about Oklahoma and Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
That's disingenuous, it's stupid, and it's a lie.
No, they
I'll
are.
straight up say it's a lie.
No,
you are lying. You're either lying to yourself or you're lying to me. I don't know which one it is. Or us. The metaphorical me.
Mm-hmm.
If you've written an article today about, but what about poor Cincinnati? If you genuinely think, and this is an objective poll, it's what we've always liked about this, is it's all eye test. If you can genuinely tell me you think Cincinnati could trot on a field with any one of these teams and not get beat by 35, I got a bridge to sell you. Georgia would score every time they touch the ball. They would run up and down the field on them until they got tired of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who else would do that? Alabama, Michigan State, Oregon, Ohio State. I'd argue Michigan would do it. Wake Forest would probably do it. I don't know that I would love you if you played Notre Dame again.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just being disingenuous. I don't know if you're after clicks. I don't know what you're after. But if your takeaway from this was, poor Cincinnati, then you are probably just not a sports person. Because you think everything should be equal, and it's not.
Right.
And you know what proves that? Everything in college football that has happened over the course of the last 6 months. Because guess where Cincinnati's headed? The Big 12. You know why they didn't hang around in the AAC? Because nobody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Could they have built that up into a 6th power conference? Yep. They don't have the money. It's all about the money. And you know what did that? The shutdown. That's where all of this came from. That's where the name, image, and likeness came from. That's where all this conference movement came from. Because you killed them. For a full year, they made no money. So now what are they doing? They're running but at a deficit. I've had more than one person that works in a high-level college tell me we're working at a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we're trying to find money anywhere we can. And so you do all these things. It goes back to fair. Oh, it's not fair. The AAC doesn't get the same shake as the Big 12. You know why? Because you're not as good. Point blank, you're not as good.
Mm-hmm.
If we did an AAC Big 12 showdown and took 12 teams from the AAC and 12 from the Big 12, or, 10, because there's 10 in the Big 12 now, which is stupid, and I still maintain that. We go 10 on 10. Guess what the Big 12 would do? They'd go 8-2 at worst.
Yes.
At absolute worst. And you know who would get their doors blown off? The bottom of that conference.
Mm-hmm.
You take the worst team in the AAC and put them against the worst team in the Big 12. Kansas would beat the vast majority of them by 2 touchdowns. And Kansas is borderline not even a Division I football team.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you can be.
Is this the one thing?
All of the disingenuous in it drives me crazy.
Is the one thing that people don't like about college football? The one thing they don't like is it's not fair. The bigger schools, they have more resources, they have more amenities that they can offer the kids, and now they have more sponsorship opportunities that can be offered to these kids. And guess what? No, it's not fair. All of these teams are built better in the SEC and the Power 5 schools with better players than they are at the AAC level. You have to realize that.
There's one huge difference that nobody ever seems to want to talk about. These blue checkmark talking heads never seem to want to talk about one great big fatal flaw with the idea that a group of 5 team could make the playoff. And we'll tell you what that is after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers on their way in from the west tonight. Widespread freeze warnings up for our neighbors over in Tennessee for tonight, and we're in the upper 30s here. Some of the higher elevations could see some light snows here tonight and early Thursday morning. Morning rain showers in the valley Thursday, high 45, low 31, and then highs only in the 50s Friday with some lows Friday night in the 20s in the valley. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
26 eastbound, we're at a near standstill between I-40 at exit 31 and Long Shoals Road at exit 37. This is due to an earlier accident, and we are looking at westbound delays due to onlookers between Long Shoals and 191 at exit 33. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Cantina Crispy Melt Taco from Taco Bell has a premium shell made from white corn and a hidden layer of real mozzarella, pepper jack, and cheddar cheeses. And now you're craving one, because when you need a taco, you need a taco. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey team, we landed the contract!
Yeah. Kayo's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week.
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
We need front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
the Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about Goofy and a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
That's the one soundbite other than the Fire the Cannons that I can always play and it'll bring a smile to my face. I love good old JR. He's such a cool dude in person as well. Anyway, we're talking college football. The college football playoff ranking, first one of the season, came out yesterday. Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Michigan State 3, Oregon 4. Ohio State was 5, and everybody's all up in arms because Cincinnati's down there at 6, and they won't get no shot to be in the Final Four.
Oh, and he said it's not fair. It's just not fair.
It's just not fair, and there's nothing that the group of fives can do to make the playoff.
And you know what the difference is? The Ohio States, the Oregons, those of the world, they never have a stretch where they play Temple, Central Florida, Navy, Tulane, Tulsa, South Florida.
Yep.
They never have that. That's the one thing you're never going to be able to mitigate. Ever. Because you go 6 weeks with a game that you could literally sleepwalk through, and Cincinnati's done it twice, and you'll still win.
Yeah.
If a group of 5 team ever wants to actually make the playoff, I can tell you how to do it. It ain't that hard.
Okay.
You're going to have to play 4 legitimate group or Power 5 teams
in your non-conference schedule.
I'm not saying they have to be Ohio State, Oregon. You don't necessarily have to play to that level. You can't play Murray State. You can't play Miami of Ohio. You know who that's reserved for? Alabama.
Right.
And you know why they can do that? Because the easiest stretch of their schedule, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the easiest stretch of schedule that Alabama has had. Yeah, you got Mercer. That's all well and good. You sprinkled Southern Miss. Do you know who they got on each side of that? Those 2 games there was a game splitting them and then one on each side.
This is what, Miami?
Miami, Florida, and Ole Miss. You know what you don't ever see in Cincinnati's schedule or any group of 5 team? 3 games like that in a month. Ever. You don't ever see that because I can't.
Yeah.
You want to be considered equal? Schedule equally. Because you know what would make Cincinnati's schedule look a lot different? If it didn't have Miami of Ohio or Mercer. And I understand those are payment games. And I get why the small school does it. I don't understand the Central Florida, the Cincinnati, the Boise State. I never understood why you did that. Because that will kill you every single time. You cannot control what happens in your conference. You can control everything else.
It's almost as if they know they can't get into the college football playoff.
They do know that. Cincinnati walked into this year. If you had gotten Luke Fickell in a room with no cameras, no tape recorders, no nothing, he would have admitted the best we could possibly hope for is to wind up in the Fiesta Bowl or the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl or something like that as the group of 5 representative. You're not getting in the playoff.
Like they did last year.
Because you don't deserve to. Just straight up, you don't.
Right.
And no, it's not fair. Well, here's the thing. You know what Cincinnati did to combat that? They joined the Big 12. BYU, they thought, we'll be an independent. That'll work. No, it won't. No, it won't.
And I love
because you know what independents still do? Notre Dame's run into this countless times. You still wind up with that series of games, and I can't remember exactly who it was BYU played, but it was a bunch of just, ugh. I'm pulling their schedule up as we speak.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to South Florida, Utah State, Boise State. Woo. And you've got Idaho State and Georgia Southern on the backside. Yeah, sorry. You have no room for error there. And if you're going to do this with the intention of, we want to get in the playoff, cool. Schedule Power 5 teams, blow out the mediocre ones, narrowly beat the good ones, and blow out your conference. You want to get in? That's how you do it. How you don't get in is limp in against Navy, a team that doesn't even throw the ball.
Right.
And, well, that's Army. But Navy doesn't throw it a ton. And limp out of there like, we won by a touchdown. Do you know what Oregon would do to Navy? I mean, it beat them 70-0. That's how that would go. But Cincinnati can't do that.
Right.
And so that's going to be held against you forever.
Yeah. They're playing the games that are in front of them. Well, yeah, and the games that are in front of them are just not good enough. I think it's hilarious, all these people that keep talking about, well, if we're not going to let them in the college football playoff, then we should have a group of 5 championship game. Who's going to watch that?
And that's fine. Do it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. That's what you want to do it.
Right, but what are you in this for?
But if you think we're going to hold that in some high esteem, you're wrong.
Yeah, no one cares. We didn't.
And I actually think that's a good idea because I think people would watch that. And here's the thing. You've got, 3 more years left of the playoff as it sits?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to see what would happen in a game that's equal, where everybody cares just as much as everybody else. And you know what's going to happen? Little Cincinnati's going to trot in there and go, hey, look, we have 2 first-round picks. And Alabama's going to say, cool, we've got 9. We got 9, and we got 5 more that don't even play because they're freshmen.
If you had a group of 5 national championship game, season ended today, it would be Cincinnati and Fresno State.
And I'd watch it.
Well, of course you would.
Well, I'm also a degenerate gambler.
That's not going. But what I'm saying is,
I'd probably have a stack on it if I had a wager.
Right. But the reason,
how many points am I catching with Fresno State? That's my number one. That's the number one question I have about that.
But the reason you want a piece of the college football playoff is why?
Money.
For the money.
It's all about the money.
For the money. And you're not going to get a Fresno State-Cincinnati big-time bowl game matchup because nobody cares.
Well, and that's the whole point. So the argument here is Cincinnati wants in because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff wants you out
because of the money. Right.
Because guess what? If Michigan State, that's not a traditional power school, if they get into the playoff, guess what they're going to do? They're going to sell 40,000 tickets in Pasadena or in Glendale, Arizona, or in Jerry World. You know what, Cincinnati? Okay, so you sell the tickets. You know what the television rating is going to look like? We've done this. Boise State plays Oklahoma. Terrible number. You know why? Because you don't have a fan base. You know what Michigan State has? A basketball fan base that would go, oh, we're playing in the college football playoff. I need to check that out. And that's what drives all of this. And the bad thing is I've read every one of these articles that I've found today.
Yep.
And just gotten madder and madder and madder as I read them going, this is disingenuous. You're lying to your audience. It really irks me when people do that. Because you don't care. Because you don't care. The writer of that. Let me just give you a hypothetical. And this is what's really – actually, you know what? Let's do weird first.
Okay.
And there's a hypothetical here that I really would like anybody that's written one of these, oh, it's not fair to Cincinnati articles. I want you to think about something. We'll tell you what it is after Weird News.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We absolutely do not talk politics on this show, but yesterday was election day, and seemingly every time there's an election, something weird happens. This time, something weird happened in Portland, Maine. Apparently in Maine, they do something called ranked choice balloting.
Okay.
And basically what that is that there's more than 2 choices. You will rank them. It's like a power ranking. All right, so your first choice would get 5. Your second would get 4, all the way down to whoever you liked 5th best would get 1 vote. I don't really understand that, but okay, that's what you do. Well, Portland, Maine did this for a city council race. Only one problem. It wound up in a tie. So now they have 2 candidates, Brandon Mazer and Roberto Rodriguez, it was an at-large city council seat. The numeric thing came back. They both had 8,529 votes.
Okay.
And you would think that in an election, if something like that happened, you would have
a runoff.
Yeah. That would make all the sense.
Did they do a coin flip?
Nope.
Did they Rochambeau?
Nope.
Did they Rochambeau for it?
No. They're drawing straws.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, they're literally a city clerk must now determine the winner by drawing lots. Here's the craziest part of this. It's up to the city clerk what they do. So they can flip a coin. They can draw straws. I don't know what else you could do. Anything that's a 50-50 chance.
Pictionary. Let's play Pictionary.
That's not a 50-50 chance. This has to be a complete game of chance. Here's my thought. And this is my plea to the to the Portland, Maine City Council.
Okay.
I think you should decide this the same way that Tank and I decide our torture bets. You should have to pick one side of a game. The other one picks a side of a game. Winner wins it. And the loser has to do something ridiculous like eat a bowl of wasabi. And if you want to know what that looks like, feel free to go to our YouTube page. I built a whole video of the whole week of Tank.
And
he got to relive the wasabi for a full day.
All morning long.
I'm not going to lie. It only took like an hour. I just kept playing it.
It just kept playing over and over and over again. So I just had to listen to my gags over and over. And
once he said that, I went, "Oh, that's a good idea," and I just put it on loop.
Just tortured me with it.
It was actually already done. I just thought it was funny, and then I showed everybody in the building, and I waited to show them until he was standing right beside me, because I am a jerk.
I was gonna say maybe they should make him take sides in the lobster bowl. I think that's what it's called. I was trying to look it up. My aunt and my cousins used to live in Portland, Maine, and they have this big, like, Thanksgiving high school football lobster bowl game where it's the two rival high schools from Portland. They should have to take sides in that. Mascot race. No, you said it's got to be a game of chance. Yeah, that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I still just want the loser to have to eat a big blob of wasabi. That's my new favorite. That should be the loser's bet in everything.
No, the loser gets to take office. That's how that works, right?
By the way,
he's going to feel like it is.
By the way, we're taking fan submissions for what this week's torture ticket should be.
Yeah.
We've gotten some good ones so far. A few of them that I can't say on air, and we certainly could not do on air, but they're still funny.
Well, it's a good thing the payoffs come in the last call segment.
Correct.
Every Tuesday. Look forward to that. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Check us out on the YouTube stream. Hit the subscribe button. All of that. Become a member of the degenerate club or whatever you're calling it. We haven't really settled on a name for it yet.
Working title.
I still like the Gentleman's Club, but everybody says that's not right.
Nope. That's not it.
We have too many female listeners to call it the Gentleman's Club.
We do.
So
we're all inclusive
Can
here.
we call it the Gentle Person's Club?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's something catchy. By the way, this was just said in the comments.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of people that want to see us wax things, which is weird to me.
Yeah, no.
First of all, there is one side of that is greatly weighted.
Definitely a punishment for him.
Yeah, look at my face. Look at his face. There's more hair stuck in my hat right now than there is on his entire body.
Yeah, I'm not a very hairy person to begin with, and I thank the Lord for that each and every day, other than the one place where I actually want hair on top of my head. But, c'est la vie. Anyway, a 65-year-old man from Maryland, he has done something that we all aspire to do. He hit the lottery. $2 million on a scratcher game. Here's the thing. It's the second time he's done it. The guy originally hit the $2 million top prize when the game first came out several years ago. He bought another one this past week. He hit the $2 million top prize again. How do you get that lucky?
That guy needs to come to Vegas with us in April.
Right. I don't understand how you get that lucky. The most I have ever won on a scratch-off ticket was $10. Yeah.
You should gamble better.
I don't have luck. Luck's just not one of those things that favors me.
I won $500 on a scratcher I forgot I bought.
Oh my gosh.
It was in the little pouch of my car.
I hate dudes like you. I really do. I mean, love you to death, but that kind of thing just irritates me. Like, I used to work with a guy that we would go on our lunch break. We'd go down the street to the gas station. They had a little restaurant in there. We'd get our sandwiches, and he would every day buy 4 scratchers. And he would come back, and we'd eat our sandwiches, and he'd be scratching them off. And every day he won something.
That's because he was buying 4 of them.
And it ranged from, but I mean, on every card almost.
Oh.
He would hit something almost every card. I mean, his bad days were when he won $25. He had one day where he hit $2,500 and he just walked out. He was like, I'm done for the day. I'll see you Monday.
I'm just going to go home
now.
now.
And he did.
I did
Good
that.
for you, brother.
I did that in Atlantic City one time. It's the only time I've ever played roulette in my life.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, I got 13 tattooed all over my body. What do you think I put it on?
Right.
What do you think it hit?
13.
On $5. I was like, why did I not bet more? That was stupid. That's why I don't do that.
Yeah. I used to ask myself all the time, why can't I have the luck of Spoonie? And I just didn't have it. hits his $25 and goes home for the, or $2,500 and goes home for the day. It's a great day. It's a great day on the job. Anyway, yeah, this guy, he's hit it twice, so I'm pretty sure everybody's going to come to him for his secrets to luck.
There is no
$2 million
secret
scratcher prizes. That's
there
crazy.
is no secret to scratchers, although there is a secret to those that I really feel like needs to be said on this show.
Okay.
If you buy those, look behind you in line.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're one of those people, it's like, I'll take a number 4, a number 7. How many are left in number 8? Oh, there's only 5. Give me all of them. If you're that guy, everybody behind you hates you.
Right.
Every single one of us. And usually, we're looking at each other going, yeah, look at this guy. Yeah, look at this guy. Don't be that person, okay? Walk in with a plan, get your tickets, and move!
It's wise words.
One of these days, I'm going to write a book of just things that chap me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be chapter 4. Chapter 4 of the chap book.
Is what, taking too long at the gas station?
No, I need a number 4. How many are left in number 7? And I guarantee you, every person that's hearing this right now is going, I've been behind that person.
Mm-hmm. The closest I ever came to doing crimes, which don't do crimes, by the way. The closest I ever came was when somebody was trying to buy $20 worth of scratch-off tickets in front of me and started counting out a jug of change. And I went, I need a pack of smokes. I got 10 minutes to get back to the radio station. You need to move aside.
And if you try to scratch them on that counter, I won't physically move you, but I will do my best to embarrass you.
Oh, I'm going to jerk that penny out of your hand, and I'm going to toss it against the wall. Go get it, boy.
No,
go get it.
No. I will lay it right in the face. No.
All right, it's time for something to chew on. Here's Caleb Peak.
Michigan State is going to get donkeyed at home in East Lansing, whatever that podunk count is. They're going down. Michigan's going home, taking Paul Bunyan, and kindly, I'm not going to say the F word, but Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Not going to say the F word, but Michigan State, okay?
Michigan by 1 billion. That's what the tweet said anyway. This is Chew on That, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. I'm Caleb Peak, and that was former Wolverine All-American tackle Taylor Lewin, now of the Tennessee Titans, with his forecast ahead of last week's top 10 matchup for the Paul Bunyan Trophy between then number 6 Michigan and number 8 Michigan State. Except Michigan didn't win by 1 billion. In fact, Michigan didn't win at all, as Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker III looked like a Heisman with 5 touchdowns on the day, and Sparty won running away 37-33. Naturally, the Taylor Lewin clip had already gone viral on the college football corner of the interwebs, and just like the Empire in Episode 5, the internet struck back. The Taylor take has become the joke of the week in the world of sports, and rightfully so. It's totally devoid of any ties to reality, completely rejects the notion that Michigan State is a pretty damn good football team, and refers to East Lansing as a podunk town. For those who aren't sure how to use Google, or at the very least a map, Lansing is the capital of the state of Michigan. And still, this is good. This is healthy. This is exactly how sports should be discussed on social media. Not in the actual media, but on social media. Because think about it, there's levels to this. In Taylor Lewin's case, what exactly do you expect him to say? He could give us the mundane coach speak that we've grown accustomed to over the years, or he could fire up the fan base with a nice, rousing rendition of Wolverine's Rule, Spartans Drool. Did the result turn out anywhere in the ballpark of where Lewin predicted it would be? Nah, and he got roasted for it. But did it somehow ratchet up the stakes of a game that was already a top 10 matchup and had severe CFP implications for both sides? Yeah. And frankly, Taylor Lewin's mindset should be the mindset of any team coming into such a situation, especially when it's rivalry weekend. I'm going to beat you by 1 billion in your own city in front of your friends and family, and there's not one thing you're going to do about it. That's the mentality that makes college football so great. But for every Taylor Lewin who's sharp enough to realize that everything he says into a microphone or types into a cell phone is being monitored by the rest of the world, there's a Tyrann Mathieu, letting his raw passion blind him to the new facts of modern life. While Taylor Lewin's chickens were coming home to roost over his Michigan State comments, Honey Badger, who I have immense respect for as a defensive player, was busy insulting his own fans online. In a reply to an Instagram post from Kansas City linebacker Anthony Hutchins that was even more critical of a fan base sometimes you have to look in the mirror and see the truth. Arrowhead Stadium on a bad night is filled with boo birds, even after all the success the Chiefs have had over the last 3 seasons. But regardless, Tyrann Mathieu, who's staring free agency in the face once this season ends, went on Instagram and posted that Chiefs loyalists might be, quote-unquote, one of the most toxic fan bases in all of sports, end quote. That coming from your beloved star defensive back who you pay big money to see week in and week out? Obviously, this didn't sit well at all with Chiefs Nation and head coach Andy Reid, which led to this happening on Saturday.
I shouldn't have used those choices of words. I think I'm man enough to admit that and really own that. And so just looking forward to, obviously, playing better, doing better. And I think most importantly, not being a distraction, to my team.
So what have we learned, boys and girls? In sports like football, it all starts and ends with the fans, especially in the online sphere. That doesn't mean that other issues won't occasionally steal the Wi-Fi, like Odell Beckham Sr. trolling Baker Mayfield openly for not passing the ball to his son more, or even like Urban Meyer getting caught with his hands where they didn't belong, after a tough loss at that. But Urban Meyer apologized, owned up to his mistake, and still holds the vast support of most of Jaguars Nation, and most importantly, the front office is standing by their guy. And with Beckham Sr., honestly, who cares? He has no direct ties to the Browns organization, and at this point, I'm not sure that OBJ does either. So he's just a fan with his own opinions, just like the rest of us. Taylor Lewin and Tyrann Mathieu, on the other hand, will continue to get attention because they got personal with it. They both went straight to the soul of their organizations, the fans, to get the reaction they were looking for. Andy Reid said he tells his players that social media is a quote-unquote dangerous area. This time, it's the reason why one guy, other than a little online ridicule, gets away scot-free for being wrong, and the other guy is apologizing for being right. What a crazy world. I'm Caleb Peak. That's something to chew on.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
US 29 southbound is stop and go between I-40 and Overlook Road. We're also looking at eastbound delays on 26 between I-40 and 191. And look out for eastbound delays between Long Shoals and New Airport Road. And 26 westbound, seeing some volume between Long Shoals and 191 at exit 33. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
From the DuckDuckGo for Privacy Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Cantina Crispy Melt Taco from Taco Bell has a premium shell made from white corn and a hidden layer of real mozzarella, pepper jack, and cheddar cheeses. And now you're craving one, because when you need a taco, you need a taco. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Avid golfer Cam Warren played with joint pain for as long as he could.
Couldn't play golf for any extended period of time without braces and pain and chewing Advil for the entire day.
Then he turned to steroids.
Cortisone would last a few months, but it just inevitably came right back. Got to the point where I would have to wear ice packs to bed.
When the word surgery came up, Cam started looking elsewhere, and he found QC Kinetics. Natural biologic therapies, regenerative treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue. With no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. And now,
very proud to say that it has definitely changed my life. I've played 36 holes multiple days in a row without pain. Everything is great.
Call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 333-9517.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
The Cantina Crispy Melt Taco from Taco Bell has a premium shell made from white corn and a hidden layer of real mozzarella, pepper jack, and cheddar cheeses. And now you're craving one, because when you need a taco, you need a taco. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Hey team, we landed the contract!
Kaya's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week?
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
Need front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Pernicious, adjective, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Now, Wicked Weed's flagship IPA, winner of a silver medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, isn't harmful unless you're a competing IPA. Brewed in the mountains of Western North Carolina, Pernicious IPA will destroy your expectations for all others in its class. Pernicious IPA inspires you to enjoy fresh and often. Order up at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed, the official craft beer of the Asheville Championship. Drink different, drink responsibly.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair!
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
Yeah, it's great that we can use that one on a day where we're talking about fairness in sports. Life's not fair. It's so not fair. If I'd ever have to hear that word again, it would be too soon.
There are just a slew of words in the English language that really irritate me, and that one irritates me.
Right. And so, of course, everybody upset. Cincinnati's being left out of the college football playoff. They're 6, and they'll never climb up to 4, but they're undefeated, and they're winning all of their games. Well, yeah, so is Oklahoma.
And so is Wake Forest. And nobody seems to care.
RG3 did. He was the one guy that I heard say the same thing about those two schools as was said about Cincinnati, was you need to be in the playoff if you're an undefeated Power 5 school, and you're not. Well, because Oklahoma has struggled with some teams that they shouldn't have, and Wake Forest, their strength of schedule, I think I saw it's 98 in the country.
It's not good.
Cincinnati's is 100. There's a reason why they're not getting the benefit of the doubt as an ACC Power 5, undefeated conference champion. And, of course, everybody lost their minds about this, as well as the NCAA hands down a 3-game suspension to Kofi Cockburn, the star center for the Illinois Fighting Illini, who got caught selling his own merchandise. And people say, oh, well, that's not against the rules anymore. No, but it was.
It was when he did it.
It was when he did it. And here's the thing. He gets popped in June, and in July the rules come into play that you can sell your own apparel and stuff like that. The NCAA should just let this go. I'm going to say no. I mean, because at this point, coming from the standpoint of the NCAA, and far be it from me to be the guy who's, making the case for the NCAA, it's one organization that I've always said should never exist or shouldn't exist anymore in the current world. However, from their standpoint, this is our wheelhouse. This is what we can still do something about this. He got popped in June. The rules didn't go into effect till July. Guess what? You broke the rules, brother. And sorry about your luck. The rules are you get a suspension for that, and they suspended him 3 games. You can't retroactively go back and say, oh, well, it's not against the rules now, but it was against the rules then, but screw it. No, you knew it was against the rules, and you tried to get away with it. Guess what? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When they find out that you were breaking the rules, you're going to pay the price. You're going to face the consequences. Oklahoma State just got a postseason ban for 2022 from the NCAA, all tied back to the Lamont Evans deal and the Adidas pay-for-play scandal that was back in 2017. I can't believe we've gone 4 years. And this is the first school that's got a postseason ban tied to this thing. I still feel like more are coming, but
absolutely.
But the people at Oklahoma State are not happy. In fact, Mike Boynton, the head coach, he did a press conference today where he was talking about this, and he said that he thinks it is the most outlandish thing that the NCAA has ever done, that it's an unprecedented penalty to put a postseason ban on a team because one player, as he says it, got $300. It wasn't a recruit. It wasn't, somebody that we were trying to get to come to school. It was somebody who was already at school here, and they got $300. Did it break a rule? Yeah, it did. You broke the rule. You're going to face the consequences. I'm sorry you don't think that that's fair, but that's actually what fair means, that everybody faces the same consequences for breaking the same rules.
Oh, yeah, they're digging deeper into Will Wade again.
As they should.
Never quite understood how him and Sean Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood how you remained the coach.
Nope.
But you have. Mm-hmm. And your school will pay for it when
the hammer drops.
When it all comes tumbling after.
Right. Because it will. Because the NCAA is like, they're like that wounded animal backed in a corner right now. They don't have much left to go on. You have to expect the NCAA is going to do everything in their power right now to punish schools for things like this because they have nothing left. You already had Mark Emmert come out earlier this year talking about decentralizing the power in college sports. So, of course, they're going to sling their weight around on everything that does fall under their jurisdiction. Is it fair? Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of common sense. But it does make practical sense if you think about it. Of course they're going to do that. They already handed down the postseason ban once, and Oklahoma State fought it so Cade Cunningham could play in the NCAA tournament.
As well they should have. I said at the time, You kick the can down the road.
Mm-hmm.
You have a shot to actually contend. They have no shot to contend this year.
Right.
So, I mean, they would have been right at the bubble line.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're going to take the punishment, take it now.
Take it now.
You might not have made the tournament anyway.
Right. You had a shot to win a national championship when you had the best player in college basketball. Now, take it and shut up about it. I don't care that you don't think it's fair, because I will argue that it is. It's the way I see the world. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. Anyhow, it is the Sportsocracy. We are here every weekday afternoon at 3 on ESPN Asheville. Check us out on YouTube as well. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Follow the links to the videos. Subscribe to the channel. You can join us every weekday morning at 10 a.m. right here for the radio show at 3 p.m. every afternoon. And, of course, on Sundays at 11 o'clock. We will see you back here tomorrow.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers on their way in from the west tonight. Widespread freeze warnings up for our neighbors over in Tennessee for tonight, and we're in the upper 30s here. Some of the higher elevations could see some light snows here tonight and early Thursday morning. Morning rain showers in the valley Thursday, high 45, low 31, and then highs only in the 50s Friday with some lows Friday night in the 20s in the valley. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect helps your business grow. Now get 20% off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore more at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Offer ends 1/1/22. Visit staples.com/services/printing for details. Staples Connect.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Currently looking at heavy southbound delays on US 25 between I-40 and Overlook Road. We're also looking at southbound delays on 25 Alt between Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. 26 eastbound, still heavy between I-40 and Highway 191 after an earlier accident. Also look out for eastbound delays between Long Shoals Road and New Airport Road. I'm